episode 6 of The Black Lodge, featuring my brother Mike Hill of Everything Went Black, Tombs, and the Necromaniacs podcast. We dive deep into the haunting and surreal world of one of our all-time favorite shows, Twin Peaks. We will be sharing episodes between my podcast and Mike's podcast, Everything Went Black. I really hope everybody's enjoying this journey so far. We're having a really good time going back down the road of Twin Peaks in season 1, and it's been a really good time. So hope everybody digs this episode. After you're done with this episode, make sure you check out my fellow horsemen of the podcast apocalypse, Everything Went Black podcast, Into the Necrosphere, the Necromaniacs podcast, Spitball Media, Ibis Manifestations, and the Soul Knocks podcast. Also, don't forget to rate this podcast on whatever service that you use. That helps a bunch. And once again, I hope you enjoy this episode, and thank you so much for listening. All right, so we're on we're doing, what is this, episode 6 of the Black Lodge?
Yes, they threw us off here in the first season because there's the pilot, and is that episode 1 or just the pilot or what? So, but for us, it's episode 6.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing, I was going through the episodes on Internet Movie Database, and for some reason, I thought there was like fucking 12 or 15 episodes in season 1, and there's not. I'm like, it was a total mind fuck for me. It felt longer than what it should be. It's very odd.
Yeah. Well, how many episodes are in this first season?
I believe there's 8.
Oh shit!
First season. Yeah, which is crazy because I was like, isn't there more? Like,
I thought there was like 20 episodes. I'm thinking of X-Files is like that, but yeah, damn.
Yeah, but I thought the same with this. Let me double check on here to see. Yeah, season 1 has 8 episodes.
Oh, it's hey, ahead of their time in another way, man.
You see, the second season has a shit ton of episodes, 22 episodes on the second season.
That's it. Yeah. So okay. That's. I just assumed they were both the same length,
Yeah, same here. In my head, they kind of like melted together, I guess, season 1 and season 2, because a lot of things I thought were going on in season 1 doesn't happen until season 2. So It's kind of a bit of I guess it's the Twin Peaks thing going on, It's never what it seems.
That changes a lot of the way I'm looking at this in a way.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, episode 6 was definitely a fun one.
Oh, yeah.
Before we get into the episode or whatever, is there anything cool you want to throw out there that you've been watching or reading?
Well, I've been getting deeper into the grim dark fantasy genre. So
nice.
I've been reading the first Law trilogy. The Blade itself is the first book in that series. It's 3 books by Joe Abercrombie.
Mm-hmm.
And for I don't know, a good solid 2 years, my friends have been telling me to read that, and I don't know why I held off for so long, but it's cool, man. It's just brutal, violent, all the stuff. There's like magic, but magic doesn't play like as big of a part in it. It's more just like brutality,
Mm-hmm.
Finished up like the first book in the Book of the Sun, the Book of the New Sun trilogy. Well, actually, that's 4 books. It's called Shadow of the Torturer, and that's a sick book too, man. That's once again, that's like another. I wouldn't say it's so grim dark, but it's like more just like sci-fi sword and sorcery because it takes place in the distant future, but it's like a primitive culture, with swords.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, a trek. There's like vestiges of of our current time, like there's like a citadel that's a crashed spaceship, stuff like that.
Nice. That sounds cool, man. Would you consider Between Two Fires the grim dark fantasy? I think it would be, right? Or
I would say yeah, because it's brutal. The character, there's no good guys really in that. Like,
yeah.
um, and it's also falls into kind of medieval sword and sorcery genre too.
Yeah, that's one I just got finished reading last month, I think, and I really enjoyed that.
I love it, man. That was like I like devoured that book, man. It was like a page turner, I thought.
Yeah, because like every chapter is like a new like boss fight or something. There's all these different creatures at the end that he's taking on, and yeah, it's kind of a tragic story because there's no real hero, and he's kind of like a very flawed, anti-hero type.
And like, Carl knows way more. Carl Hakara knows way more about the grim dark genre. I'm very new to it, to be honest. And but that hits all the the boxes, like a complicated character, kind of a villain almost, and people get that you like get killed all the time. It's like, brutality like left and right. That's the vibe. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. And I got to be honest, the thing that first drew me in was the sick book cover.
Yeah, dude, the book cover's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
like the most metal, like boy, it looks like an album cover.
Yeah, dude, that gets me with back in the day with the movie covers and stuff. When you go in this Blockbuster or whatever, and you see those cool covers. It's the same with books for me. Like if it's got a badass cover, I'm like, usually it's pretty good most of the time.
Yeah, it looks like a t-shirt or something.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a great cover. I've also seen some really shitty like AI art covers, and
Oh yeah.
usually the book that follows. I recently read one. I'm not even going to mention because I don't want to bash anybody, but it was like this shitty ass AI cover. It was some type of supernatural like Wendigo type horror, and it was horrible, man, fucking horrible. I finished it just because I didn't want to stop, but yeah, very bad. I'm not even going to mention that one. I
Yeah.
just did, but not the name.
I think after I finish the Blade itself, I'm gonna have to make room for the new Adam Neville book that's coming out, Monumental.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I definitely
Yeah,
want to get
yeah.
on that.
It's I think it comes out like I pre-ordered it, so I think it's gonna be shipping in like early April. So yeah.
That's killer. I've been going through or trying to get through a lot of Jeremy Wagner's stuff. Jeremy Wagner from Broken Hope. He's been
Yeah.
on a few of our Jackie's podcasts before and stuff, but he's on like a book tour now for his new book. But right now I'm kind of catching up. And the one I just got done, well, just got finished reading was the Armageddon Chord. I think I told you about this
Yep,
one,
you did.
dude. Yeah, super fun. It's like pulpy. It's like Indiana Jones meets like I don't know, like something like some satanic cult stuff, kind of mix those two together with a whole bunch of like awesome heavy metal references and stuff, and it's very cool.
I gotta check that out, man. I like Broken Hope, man. That band's pretty awesome. I've seen them. I think I only saw them like once over the years, but yeah, they're great.
Yeah, I've seen them once at Maryland Death Fest, like 15 years ago now, maybe longer than that, and they're really good. But his new novel that just came out is called Wretch, and it's a totally different vibe, man. This is like it's got like mafia hitmen in it and stuff, like really down and dirty, nasty, like Chicago like gang stuff. There's some like steroided out fucking lunatic fucking monster dudes in this one or whatever, like psycho killer guy. Like it's already started off pretty good. I'm starting to read that as we speak. So
Speaking of psycho killers, I heard that movie wasn't so great.
man, and I was looking forward to that one too because they made the trailer look so awesome and the artwork for it looked cool. But I've heard some bad things about that one.
I'm still gonna see it. Like I was primed to go check it out in a movie theater, and then I started hearing all the reviews, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe let me save my money and wait for it to stream.
Yeah, I'm still gonna watch it, but yeah, I was gonna go to the theater to see it after, but after I heard all those reviews from people I trust, I'm like, oh man, sounds like a mess. But it might be a fun one to watch at the house.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like we were talking before we started recording. This year has been pretty shitty so far when it comes to movies. So I hope it gets better, and there are a few things coming out that look pretty cool. So hopefully it starts to pick up. But it's already March, and yeah,
I know,
dude,
bro. Yeah, it's the undertone. I got high hopes for that one.
same here, man. I hope that's good. And I think that's an A24 film, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you're correct on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's some other ones coming out I can't think of off the top of my head, but I've been watching and I have them on my save list. But yeah, so far, dude, like there's nothing really past 8 for me this year so far, and that's only like one film. That was the one I recently watched on Shutter that I was telling you about. What was the name of it? It was a Honey Bunch.
Honey Bunch. Yep.
Yeah, and that was weird. It's definitely horror, but more sci-fi than anything, and a little bit of folk horror in there too. Just a tad bit of that, but it's mostly like sci-fi horror weirdness. But that was really good. But other than that, I can't recommend any other films so far this year.
There's been some really great records that came out so far. Like, they got the new Mayhem, Reeking Aura's new album.
Dude, that new Mayhem is so good. I've already listened to
Yeah,
that like 20 times.
yeah, exactly. And the Ruins of Beverast, their latest that new record by them that just came out like the first day of the year or something like that. And it was like, damn, this would have been on my top 10 for 25 if it came out in 25. But those three records are solid, man. Great.
No, yeah, definitely great records, and also the new Misothias. Have you heard that
Oh
one?
yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't heard it yet, but I think you guys have been talking about it.
dude, yeah, it's like constant rotation on my workout playlist. It's so fucking like evil and violent. Yeah, really enjoying that one a lot. I've been wore that shit out on Spotify or whatever for my workout playlist stuff. But yeah, that and Mayhem, the new Mayhem is so good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, it's been a slow year for horror, but I'm glad we're here talking like something that we know is strong and will always stay strong, and that's the Twin Peaks series. Like you can't take that away from us, you know.
Yeah, and it's like like all great artwork or films and all that sort of stuff, the more you revisit it, the more details you start seeing, and the more you, especially in a show like this, you start seeing like the subtle connections between things. The more you watch it, and that's always really cool to experience that.
Yeah, definitely, man. Because this whole watch through from doing this podcast and stuff has been totally different because there's things I'm catching I never seen before. Certain things seem like they should have been on another episode, but they're on this episode. It's weird, man. It's the Twin Peaks effect, I guess, the
Yeah.
strangeness of what David Lynch created. But yeah, definitely. So if you wanted to start off with the synopsis and stuff, I have some like weird facts and notes I
Okay.
took, but
Yeah.
on this thing. But it was a great episode overall, but they all are, so I'm biased.
So by now, everyone knows this is created by David Lynch and Mark Frost, premiered on ABC. Came out, this is crazy to think this is on network television.
I'm telling you, it's so weird. I think I told this before, but my first experience catching this was my mom watching it on fucking ABC. Or I'm like, and I'm too little to really understand what's going on. I'm like, what is this shit? There's a horse in the bedroom. There's this, you know what I mean? Like, what
Yeah.
is going on here?
I mean, I didn't see it too much later. That was during that time in my life where I didn't have a television and it was like, very,
Hmm.
very kind of like Spartan lifestyle I had back then.
Nice.
Uh, Ran from 1990 to 1992, then was resurrected in 2017 for a third season on Showtime. And so this is, this I'm gonna forego the episode number. So
Yeah.
it's Cooper's Dream. It came out on May 10th, 1990. Written by Mark Frost and directed by Leslie Linka Glatter. Yeah, so that's the technical aspects of this thing. So it opens up with Josie Packard. She opens some mail and there's a drawing of a domino piece. And then
Hmm.
Hank calls in and you hear him say, "Did you get my message?" while sucking on the domino.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that actually that's how the last episode ended up. So it's kind of bringing up this that's where we're at. Hank's out of jail and he's getting ready to be unleashed back on the town of Twin Peaks.
Yeah. And Hank's
So,
definitely, he's a strong presence in Twin Peaks when he gets out. He's Mr.
oh yeah.
Evil Badass.
I mean, he's kind of like, upsetting a lot of things. Of course we got Norma and Big Ed's relationship, they're
Hmm.
he becomes a works at the diner, the Double R diner. So he's like and he's connected with all this other stuff. So his entry back into this time stream of Twin Peaks is huge.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So the episode opens with a blood moon. We see this blood moon. It's we see Cooper. It's 4:28 a.m. and we hear a bunch of singing Icelanders in the way, just like creating all this noise. And Cooper's the type of guy who I think probably needs to get his sleep so that he can be razor sharp every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been this theme throughout the movie is the Icelanders, the Horns are trying to set up a new deal. The Norwegians bailed, so now we got these Icelanders who he's trying to, make a deal with. Okay.
Hmm.
Uh, so Cooper gets up, he heads down for coffee, and then he's visited by Audrey. And she's Cooper's like, a little on edge because he didn't get a good night's sleep. And Audrey tells him that she wants to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Um,
she's 18. She trying to
yeah.
stress that too. Yeah.
Dude,
I'm
that's like,
18. Yeah.
yeah, she's like, wants to make it clear that she's 18 years old. And then Coop's like, we'll see you later, Audrey. I'm actually glad that, I mean, I was a lot younger when I watched this, obviously. So it's like, I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, the further away you get from 18 in your life, the more you realize that you're still basically a child at that age.
I know that's crazy. I'm about to be 41 this year, and when I see like 20-year-olds and all, I'm like, man, that's like a kid. I'm like, that's weird. And like, yeah, you're just a little kid, and like,
Yeah, dude,
it's
there's a kid I work with, a guy I work with and he's like 20. He just got out of college like maybe 2 years ago, and he's like 22.
mhm.
But this kid looks like he's 14 years old, man. So there you go. It's like this kid's 22, Audrey's 18. Cooper's probably 30, and it's like you realize like I'm glad that they never consummated their like, flirtation.
Yeah, it'd have been super awkward, but I'm sure the character, I think Cheryl Flynn or whatever, she had to be probably in her 20s when she did this, maybe, unless she was closer to 18.
No, no, I think she was in her 20s, but
Yeah,
in the narrative of the show,
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
little creepy.
it
You know what I
is.
mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But I didn't really pick up on that until years later, like back in the 90s. I was like, yeah, whatever, man. It's cool. This is rock and roll, man. Let's go for it. But now it's like, yeah, let's see it as different completely.
Yeah, very creepy.
Yeah. So brother Jerry meets up with Ben in his office, and this is where they start talking about the Ghostwood Estates project,
Hmm.
which is the whole thing of you know, with the Icelanders and trying to pull them into this real estate project that they're working on and, making money. I'm sure there's some shady underdealings and things like that. Jerry proclaims his love to one of the Icelanders.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
Jerry's such a creep, man. Like he's one of the creepiest characters in this whole series, and that's that guy's mo for the most part. Any role he plays, he's always like the creep guy. And yeah, I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember his role in I think it was in Commando when Arnold was holding him over the side of the fucking mountain or whatever because he's super creepy in that one too. He's trying to kill Arnold and he wrecks his like little car. I think it was Commando. Pretty sure it was Commando. He's holding
Oh,
him
yeah.
over the side of the
Wow.
mountain by one leg. You remember that?
Okay. I remember him holding the guy over the side of the mountain, but I didn't realize it was Jerry.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah,
He also pops up in a lot of in Lynch's other films, more like in the background.
yeah. David Patrick Kelly's his name, and he's been in a ton of stuff, but he's always the sleazy guy. you know.
I think he was also in wasn't he in The Crow?
I believe so. Yeah, he was one of the main characters of the Fire It Up gang. You know what I mean? He was like
Yeah.
their guy. Yeah, yep,
Right. Yeah. So, he's been around. He always plays kind of this like, unhinged, like, borderline creeper.
yeah. And it's definitely has those creepy vibes in this. Like, man, when he just shows up, it's like, man, this guy.
Yeah. So they're thinking like maybe one of the best things to do is to bring the Icelanders up to One-Eyed Jacks, to kind of seal the deal, continue buttering them up, you know. Around this time, Leland Palmer shows up. It's like uh he's a total mess, uh disheveled, and he's like, I'm reporting to work.
yeah,
I need something to occupy my mind, he says, in light of the murder of Laura Palmer, his daughter. So now, there's like he's kind of like the linchpin for everyone else kind of breaking out into there's a nice dance scene here, where everyone's
yeah.
dancing.
So it's such an awkward scene. He starts by himself because that downward spiral starting to happen. Like more and more each episode, he's like descending more, and like the guilt starting to build up and everything else. Like he's coming undone, and they're like, "Go
Now,
dance with him, make him seem normal."
like this is the part that like I want it. The question I have is I think the actual Leland Palmer himself at this stage is unaware of what he actually did because he was like the manifestation of Bob essentially,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know if he's actually come confronted, like really been able to like bring those two things together. I just think that there's like this almost like a possession, like causing him to do all this stuff.
That could be it. Yeah, that's a good angle on that. Yeah, I didn't think about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Like I'm not sure that Leland Palmer himself really is like aware in some ways of what, what his part in the murder of his daughter was. And like, I just think that it's like this, it's funny, like Abel Ferrara did a similar thing in The Blackout, this movie called The Blackout.
Hmm.
Excellent, excellent movie, by the way, if you guys ever want to check out an Abel Ferrara film, where it's like the main character, he does something horrible during a blackout that he had when he's a recovering alcoholic and he just goes off the deep end and can't remember what he did. And but there's this like subconsciously he knows it and it's like driving him insane. So it's like I think that's kind of what Leland might be going through.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. He's also just kind of like a puppet, He's like he's being like twirled around on some strings or whatever too. Like it's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we cut over to our team, our law enforcement team. They're checking out the Jacques Renault apartment.
Hmm.
Um, they talk about how they can't find his brother Bernie. Dr. Haywood is there. He's working on, getting some forensic stuff together. And then they find another copy of Flesh World, which is
God,
like,
that Flesh World, man. It's such skeevy vibes of that magazine. Like, and I think we talked about this before, but it has like total like Clive Barker feels to it, like Flesh World. It seems like a Barker novel or something that
that'd be
would
a,
take place in the Cinnabite world.
that'd be a sick name for a noise band or something like that.
Oh, Flesh World, hell yeah, dude. That'd be a good that'd be a new Abraxas Horn side project called Flesh World.
There you go,
Something like
man.
noise. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Um,
cool.
and also like that underworld of like weird like magazines like that, that doesn't exist anymore, man. So like people don't even like younger people from this era, from the 21st century, are completely unfamiliar with this sort of subculture of, now you just have an app, you can find whatever, creep you want out there in the world.
Yeah, yeah,
But back in those days, man, the early 90s, it's like you had to know where to go to get this magazine, right? You had to figure out what rock to go under to find something like this.
yeah,
And like the way the magazine works is they say they call it a clearinghouse where no one really has any direct contact. So the magazine is like this conduit between people. Just someone posts an ad and they respond. Someone responds to the ad, and the magazine is free and clear of any responsibility of anything. It's not like they're controlling, you know, any kind of interaction with people.
right.
So it's like even darker. I don't know. There's something really dark about that.
It is a dark and seedy thing because, like I said, we had to search for this stuff. And like, I remember first time I ever found like a nudie magazine. My uncle had a box of stuff or whatever, helping him move something because he lived with us for a brief period of time when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And yeah, between his muscle mags they had down there because he was lifting weights and all at the time, wannabe bodybuilder or whatever. But in between those, you had your other things like your penthouse and all that stuff. Then you had the other creepy shit, the blank VHS tapes that
Oh
you
wow.
didn't. Yeah, and then of course, out of curiosity, me and my friend had to check it out to see what was on these things, and to our surprise, yeah, all the CD things, that you can easily access now was on that videotape. So it
Yeah.
definitely had a creepy, like weird, dark, like underground vibe to it back then that we don't have now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that creepiness is there. It's just that you don't have to find a magazine to do it. You
No,
can
you
just
just pick up your
download.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, man, yeah.
Yeah. So they find a letter to Ronette. Uh, there's like a dude in it with a beard dressed like a woman and then but there's also a picture of Leo's truck in an ad on one of the pages. So now
Yeah,
we're drawing connections with Leo, Ronette Pulaski, Flesh World, all these things are they're data points on this whole web of crime that's going on to kind of connect things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we cut over to the Johnson house.
Yeah.
Still not complete. That wall is still not. It's just framed out, but there's no drywall on it. We still see that in the background.
Yeah, doing a horrible job of remodeling this place.
Yeah. Um, Bobby and Shelley. Bobby's eating, and this is where the kind of the seeds of maybe framing up Leo is sort of coming into that plan is starting to formalize between the two of them.
Hmm.
Yeah. Shelly pulls a gun, and she pretends that she's talking to Leo. Uh, and everyone's like, they got they're feeling themselves at this point, but then they hear a car door slam, and it's like, oh shit, it's Leo's back, and it's like, so they think it's Leo, but it's actually Deputy Andy.
Yeah, and I got to say, Mr. Tough Guy Bobby, he is the biggest dumbass, man. That was one of the notes. One of the key notes I made on this for this scene here was Bobby's horrible gun safety in this scene here. He's like pointing the fucking gun at her, and
Yeah.
like he's got his finger on the trigger, no trigger discipline, none of that stuff. He's just waving around like a fucking idiot. I'm like, God, this guy's such a fucking dumbass.
That's how people get killed, dude. It's like people buy weapons like firearms all the time, and it's just like they never learn how to actually, apply gun safety with anything. And
No.
that's,
And that's the most important fucking thing, dude. You better be safe as shit with this because your life and other people's lives matter for this, you know? There's a responsibility you have to take when you're a gun owner and stuff. And this the way Bobby's wheeling that pistol around is not how you do it.
so when Deputy Andy comes in, this is like the first step towards them creating, well, this involvement. They're like they start pointing a finger towards Leo around this time. So you know, sh Deputy Andy asks when Leo will be back, and then Shelley's like, "Wow, does he have something to do with Laura?" And this is where she says that Leo was talking to Jacques Renault the other night about, talking what he thought they were talking about Laura. So she's planting some info,
Hmm.
kind of like giving them, evidence that may or may not actually be true.
Yeah.
So then he leaves, and then the phone immediately rings, and it's
Yeah.
Leo asking if anyone came by.
Is anyone there? Was anybody there? Fucking Leo, yeah.
And this is where, Bobby places the gun in Shelley's hand, being like, okay, we got it. We're gonna have to make some kind of move on Leo.
Yeah. And that it's kind of like placing a gun in her hand too, kind of like it's a bit of a, telling of things to come to,
Yeah,
it's
a
like,
little
yeah.
foreshadowing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
foreshadowing, yeah.
yeah. So this is where we cut over to Big Ed's filling station. Norma shows up. Um, you know, Big Ed tells her that, Nadine is she's getting a patent on her silent drape runners.
Yeah. Crazy.
And she informs Ed that Hank got out of jail and that he'll be coming back. So this is like a big moment for them, you know.
Hmm.
If you guys remember last episode, we have the trial or the hearing for his parole. No one thought he was going to come out, but they grant him parole. So now, and at the end of last episode, he's talking to Josie. So there's a connection with Josie and Hank, and he's got this domino that, sort of his thing.
Yeah. He kind of reminds me a bit of like the big bad wolf. You know what I mean? Like he's coming there to blow everybody's house down and just cause fucking chaos and ruin everybody's shit again. He has that feel to him.
Yeah. So they talk about their relationship, about how they want to be together, and Ed tells Norma that Nadine's not well, and then she asks him, it's like if they were getting cold feet about their relationship, and no one wants to hurt anyone, they're thinking of the other person essentially,
Hmm.
and that's when Norma drops the line on him. That's our trouble, Ed. We never want to hurt anyone, you
Yeah.
know.
Very tragic characters, I think, in this whole thing. Them too, and their love affair and stuff, and kind of with the
And
wrong people.
yeah, and she adds, this is how it is when you get to the end of your life and you don't have anything to show for it. So it's like sad, it's like they're a great couple. Of course, since we are watching a dark, you know, soap opera.
Yeah, basically,
There,
yeah.
there has to be love triangles, so they're both in love triangles, and they have just like this mess of a relationship around them. But they're two essentially good people, and I've always been rooting for Ed and Big Ed and Norma.
Yeah, same here. I think they're out of the cast, out of everybody that's in Twin Peaks and all. They're definitely the most like sympathetic and kind of that's the best hearted out of all of them. Like they're kind of almost pure hearted, compared to some of these other folks there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they decide to cool it, they decide to kind of, not talk to each other, stay distant, and that sucks. Like I said, I was rooted for them, but I can understand, Hank's coming back, Nadine. Oh, as time goes on, Nadine, goes further and further out there. So that's to come.
Oh yeah, she goes. Yeah, Nadine. She's a great character, by the way, and she's always also another one of those actresses that or actors that are always like creepy and stuff. Like her roles are always weird. Like when she was in People Under the Stairs, man. Like
Yes.
her and Big Ed were both in that. And man, dude,
Yes.
yeah, so creepy.
Dude, I gotta watch that again, man.
I just recently watched that. Actually, no, that was last Halloween when AMC was doing their Fear Nights or whatever. It was on, so I had to watch it again, and yeah, it's still a great movie. It's still pretty fucking brutal and just very dark and out there.
So we cut over to the Horns department store, and because if you guys remember from the last episode, uh, Audrey's like, Dad, she feeds him this whole line about how she wants to contribute to the family business and that, she wants to start from the bottom and work her way up. And, Ed's like, I'm not Ed, Ben is like, well, I'll put you in like, the mailroom or something like that. And she's like, oh, well, actually, I was thinking that I should work in the perfume counter, because Audrey wants to, she's being a sleuth. And she's trying to
Hmm.
figure out what happened. She's seen the clues. She understands that somehow the perfume counter, One-Eyed Jacks, and Laura's murder are all connected. Ronette Pulaski, like all that sort of stuff. So she wants to get involved. And earlier on in this episode, she mentioned to Coop that I want to help. So here she is. She shows up for first day at work, and we meet Emery Batts at the department store, and she convinces him, or sort of, coerces him
Yeah,
into allowing her to work at the perfume counter by telling her that, I'll tell my father you tried to, assault me and stuff like that.
yeah. I'll rip my dress and tell my father. Yeah,
So that he made a pass at her or something like that. So he's like, okay, let's start in the paperwork.
yeah. Smart man. Like, yeah, you better do what she says. She's very persuasive.
Yeah. We cut over to James and Donna, our star-crossed lovers. So James is like he's interesting because he's either like easy to make fun of on certain levels,
Hmm.
but also, if you're into like these kind of like, sad boy like characters like I am, you're also like, ah man, James is fucking cool, he's like this outsider, he's got this kind of like troubled past, like all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we kind of made the reference to him being kind of Danziggy, like,
Yeah, exactly. He's like a
yeah,
Danzig figure.
yeah,
So James comes clean with her about some of his past, like his dad didn't die when he was 10. His dad was a musician, of course, and he ran off on his mom.
yeah,
And that his mother is an alcoholic and a writer, and that he has been lying when he says that his mom's out of town, but she is out of town. But really, what she's doing, and this is just dark, man. She's like shacked up in some motel, like
yeah. Kind of
getting
turning tricks, right?
yeah, turning tricks and being drunk and just like being a mess.
Yeah,
And James tells her like earnest, with this earnest look on his face. He's like, I'm telling you this because I don't want any secrets between us.
Mr. Serious.
He's like, the secrets people keep destroy any chance of happiness. So, and it's like, yeah, James has always been one of those characters. I always kind of, felt for him a little bit. I just thought he was like, yeah, he's like, he's got his cool motorcycle, his like black leather jacket. He's like that outsider character from like a 50s, sort of thing,
Oh yeah, he has that greaser feel to him and stuff, and I bet he listens like rockabilly.
Yeah,
Like he
totally,
just
man.
yeah, definitely feels like the type. And
Yeah.
he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't really do any wrong at all. He's just trying to be the good guy, trying to be the hero, and
I'm gonna drop this line too because it connects to some of our friends here. It's like they proclaim that Laura is wandering like a restless spirit.
aha, boom,
So if
nice. He picks up.
any people out there like hard rock and heavy metal, which I'm assuming a lot of you do, you will know that Brandon and I are friends with a band called Restless Spirit, and that
Yes.
and that's that I suspect that's where the name came from, if you ask me.
I think so. That'd be cool if it is, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. And they also have a new song out right now. And this episode's going to be out tomorrow, which is Monday. And I know they have a new single out, so definitely check that out. It's really good.
Yeah, great band, great guys. Go
Oh
out and
yeah,
see them. Yep.
yeah.
So we cut back to Jacques Renault's apartment, and the donuts have showed up, and people are deploying the donuts.
So many donuts, man. Like there's always a lot of donuts in each episode for the most part, but this was like a box full of donuts, all kinds of variety of donuts. And when I'm watching this for my rewatch, it's like late at night and I don't have any donuts. I have nothing sweet around me, and I'm seeing all these donuts. I want a fucking donut every time.
Yeah, it's the same. Coffee, blueberry pie, and donuts. It's
Oh
like,
man.
yeah. I mean, I always like to have a nice cup of coffee myself, but the sweets are. I don't really think of sweets until I watch Twin Peaks.
Oh, see, that's my problem. I think of sweets always. That's why I don't keep them in the house. But when, episodes of Twin Peaks comes on with donuts and I'm like thinking about them like 20 times more.
I gotta say, I'm a savory guy. I like savory. My wife though is always looking for a sweet treat. So,
Dude, chicken and waffles is my thing with syrup on top of there. Like that gets both the savory and the sweet. Like that's my favorite combination. Like, yeah, good.
I never had that, man. I'm
Oh,
gonna try that someday. I got to go to a legit spot and try that, man.
dude, we got a place around here called Metro Diner, and they do like
Yeah.
this fucking chicken and waffles, man. They give you like a pretty much a full chicken fried up in giant waffles, and you have like this strawberry butter that they serve with it, dude. It's the best shit ever. It's probably like 1,000. I mean, it's probably like 5,000 calories, but it's worth it this one
It's like
time.
2 days worth of nutrition for
Yeah, yeah.
someone.
It's not good for you, but man, does it taste good.
Yeah, I got to try that someday, man.
Yeah, highly recommend.
So the plot sort of thickens here around Flesh World and PO boxes and Ronette Pulaski and Jacques Renault. So there's two different ad numbers mailed to the same PO box, and one is from Laura's ad, and the ad reads something like "Young student requires education in the ways of love," and this is where we see the red drapes.
Yes, those
Because
are my
Cooper,
notes.
Cooper has a dream, the red drapes and in a creepy clown painting. Yeah, so this is like part of that whole connection between, and hence the episode's called Cooper's Dream.
Yep,
They also discover that Jacques has purchased 50 gallons of heating oil to heat a log cabin, which is quite a bit actually.
it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and that connects to like another plot point later on.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we're back at the Double R Diner, and we see Hank. This is the first time Hank is in the episode. We see him walking in the background, like he's in the background of the scene as Maddie comes in,
Hmm.
and so she's meeting up with Donna and James, and now, you know, uh, James and Donna, they've been going hot and heavy. James just told Donna he doesn't want to have any secrets with her, and they want to be happy and all this stuff, but he's kind of blown away by Maddie because she looks well, it's the same actress that's playing Maddie as Laura Palmer, but she's essentially Laura with dark hair without the baggage, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
She's like a nice girl. She never, didn't have any of these. She wasn't sexually abused by anybody, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they sit down, um, getting to know each other, and you know, they ask her if she wants anything, and she's like, "Oh, I'll have a cherry Coke." And then this is a real subtle scene. So James, like right away, jumps up, runs off to get it. Donna shoots him this glance.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, huh, is this bitch gonna take my boyfriend away from me?
Yeah,
So
I definitely picked up on that.
yeah, yeah. Um, so Donna tells her secret that Laura was in terrible, terrible trouble. He tells this to Maddie, and they afraid that the truth will never come out, or that they'll never find who the killer is, or any of these things. So they know that Donna had like some secret hiding place, and they talked to Maddie about trying to find that in the house. And Maddie's like, "Oh yeah, there's like she's just hides cigarettes in the bedpost or something like that."
Hmm.
So she's like, "Oh, I have an insight into this." Maddie also had a feeling that Laura was in trouble the day before she died. She got this feeling, this premonition. So there is a connection between Maddie and Laura that's like this intangible, like spirit realm, like sort of connection.
Yeah, they're almost like I said, they're opposites, but they're connected because it's kind of like it's almost like her from another dimension, maybe or something. You know what I mean? Even though they're supposed
Yeah.
to be cousins or something, but it's something more than that.
And the blonde brunette duality is constantly being he uses that in all of his movies basically. You've got except for maybe Wild at Heart.
Hmm.
You've got you know in Mulholland Drive, you've got in
Lost Highway, they do that.
Lost Highway they did that. And actually it's funny like even in I said that they don't have that in Wild at Heart, but in a way they kind of do
Mm-hmm.
because uh Sailor is telling Lula this like dirty story from his past and Laura Dern's blonde,
Yeah.
right? And he's telling the story about this woman that he had sex with and she's a brunette, right?
Right.
And like something about gentlemen prefer blondes, basically, is what Sailor tells Lula.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's always this thing between like blonde-haired ladies and brunettes.
And
So
I'm not a gentleman, so I don't prefer blondes. I'm not a gentleman.
yeah. Um my wife is actually naturally blonde, but her hair's dark. So
Same with Cindy. She's naturally a blonde, but she's always dyed her black since forever and stuff. And yeah, crazy. So maybe we are gentlemen at heart.
yeah, yeah, maybe. Um so we also when the camera cuts back and we see that Hank is sitting behind them and he heard the whole story. So we don't really know. We're starting to put together a picture of Hank,
Hmm.
and how he fits into everything. We're not exactly sure what's going on. We know that he's up in this episode, a lot comes out about him. And and now we're formulating that he is connected to whatever the hell is going on in this town.
Yeah, in a big way too. Like he's definitely pushing some things around and making things happen.
Yeah. So this is where he creeps up on Norma and he's like, Are you surprised to see me? And she's like, he wants to earn his way back into her heart. He's like, I'm not expecting anything. This is like the right words to say, but you know that that's not what he really means. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you can tell behind he has other intentions. you know.
Yeah. So she's like, okay. So he puts her on she puts him on the dishwashing detail. So now he's like starting at the, back in the kitchen there, washing dishes.
Hmm. Did you? I think right after this scene, they had it kind of went off to that like soap opera that they played, the
Return to Love.
Invitation to Love.
Invitation to Love. Yep.
Yeah. Did you notice the title card at the end of that little scene there is kind of sitting on a thing of blue velvet?
Oh, fuck. I didn't realize that. See?
Yeah, see the weird things that you catch after all these watch throughs and stuff. I've never seen that before. I'm like, is that blue velvet? Is that kind of like you know, a, like a little Easter egg, maybe?
I probably, you know.
Yeah.
I did note that the character in that episode of Invitation to Love is like the guy is kind of like resembles Leo and is like smacking up another one of the characters and sort of
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he does. It's kind of like almost like a meta version of what's going on in Twin Peaks, kind of sort of. It's like
exactly.
so
Yeah.
deep. Yeah.
So we cut over to the Briggs the Briggs family therapy session with Jacoby. Um, and then Dr. Jacoby tells Major Briggs and his mother he wants to speak to Bobby alone.
Hmm.
And now this is another thing too. Like we know that the Jacoby's connection with Laura, and I'm sure he knows definitely that Bobby and her were together, and that 'cause, it was Laura's therapist. So he wants to talk about Laura, and he gets creepy too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's like, "Tell me about the first time you guys had sex, and did you cry? And, did Laura laugh at you? And, which is probably something she told him in her therapy session.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's definitely he's got big creepy vibes. And could you imagine going to he was your doctor? Like
No,
yeah, I mean, look at him. I mean, the way he acts and like, hell no, man. This guy's
no.
nuts.
I really
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here. This
Yeah.
guy,
He's a
just
fucking
like,
clown.
yeah, he's a clown. Yeah. But this is a small town, man. Maybe he's the only therapist in town.
Yeah, yeah.
Back then there's no no online presence for therapy. So he's all you got, unless you
Yeah.
want to drive 2 hours to wherever,
You're
to Bellingham, Washington, or wherever the hell the next big town would be.
you're stuck with this clown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he asked him if he was sad when Laura died, you know, and then Bobby was like, Laura wanted to die. She told him that. And then, it gets heavy for a minute here. Laura tells Bobby, people try to be good, but people are fake and rotten. And whenever she tried to be good, she was drawn into hell.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's like, very dark.
Yeah, pretty heavy stuff. That's a really cool quote too.
Yeah. Jacoby asks Bobby if he thought Laura had gone through something terrible that made her want to corrupt people, and because Bobby told him that Laura made him sell drugs.
Yeah,
Right?
which is
So,
like, yeah, she's darker than some think, like
yeah.
she's not that good.
And it's like it also adds like another layer of complexity to Bobby too, I mean, he sucks. Like he's a terrible person, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But you wonder like what he was like before he really fell in with Laura.
Yeah, maybe she corrupted him. That's what it
Yeah.
seems like. He's just a pawn, he got corrupted. Maybe he was like Mr. Good Boy, football player guy or whatever, and she kind of pushed him over to the dark side.
And then like on a cosmic level, like at this point, we have the dark forces that are on the outside leaching into this world, you
Hmm.
know. Like we got Bob, the essence of Bob, corrupting and just this infection of darkness, and then from Bob to Laura to Bobby, and it's just like such an interesting, angle.
Yeah, it's all this corrupting the whole town, like slowly, like in an insidious, like darkness, stemming from like the forest too, which is around them and stuff. It's like I don't know, almost like playing games with the people in the town, like seeing how far they can corrupt them and shit and turn them.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. After we do season 2, we should hit the book, and
Yes,
definitely
yes,
gonna read that again. We'll do an episode on the book because
so good.
it's really cool, and the sort of lore of Twin Peaks and all that. I think is really cool. Before we get into the movie and and then the third season. So
Yeah, definitely, that's a good plan.
yeah. So our team's back in the woods. Um, Hawk finds a clue, and they find this cabin, and the law roll up, and Doctor Haywood. They tell Doctor Haywood to kind of hang back. We're going to check this place out. And of course, this is the log lady's cabin.
Yeah, she's
And,
very, very interesting. And also
yeah,
talking about the book, yeah, you get to learn more about her when we get to
yeah.
there. And yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, it's about time you showed up."
Yeah, she's like the Oracle, man.
Yeah. She's like, come on, then. My log does not judge."
Yeah, she says that the owls can't see you in here. Like,
Yeah.
to bring up the whole owls thing again, which I think is awesome.
She has tea, cookies, but no cake.
Cake and sugar
That's
cookies.
yeah. So good, man. I just like Cooper gets slapped because he reaches out to take a cookie before his tea is steeped,
Mhm.
you know. Um, and she indicates that the log has seen something. Um, and then she reveals to them that her husband was a logger and that he met the devil. Um, Fire is a coward hiding in the smoke.
Mm.
all these cryptic things,
Yeah.
it's like, but then again, there's things coming up that involve fire, you know.
Yeah, it all makes sense in the end. And so the
Yeah,
things she says, like that's the same. She's like an oracle type character. She's a yeah, she sees things, she knows things.
yeah. Um, so Cooper asked the log what he saw the night that Laura was killed, and this is when she channels what the log is telling her,
Mhm.
and she's like dark, laughing. The owls were flying. Many things were blocked. Two men, two girls, flashlights, later footsteps. One man passed by, faraway screams. Terrible, terrible. Girl's voice further up over the ridge. The owls were silent. So I don't know. You figure it out. It's like,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
I guess I don't think this is exactly what Cooper had in mind when he asked the question, but this is what he got.
Yeah, very abstract and like, yeah, figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
It's like a riddle.
So our men are back in the woods. Um, the he proclaims that the two girls that in what the log lady was telling were Laura and Ronette. And Truman, he adds that maybe the two men were Jacques and Leo. But who was the third man?
Mm,
We don't know.
nope.
Hawk hears some music out in the woods, and out in the silent woods, like something like that would carry a long ways, I imagine.
Yeah, also some creepy music too. Imagine hearing that out there in the middle of the woods.
I'd probably walk away from it, man. I wouldn't try to find where it's coming from. I think I hear my mother calling me. I think it's time for dinner. Let me get the hell
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
here.
Yeah, I'm not going towards it.
Yeah. So Hawk leads them to the source of the music, and Cooper finds a photo in the house we see the red drapes.
Hmm.
Um, and then oh, the music, that's Julie Cruz, actually.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, dude. Fuck, I love Julie Cruz's music,
Yeah.
man.
It's so like it's creepy, dark, and this like ethereal.
Yeah, I have the CD of like that came. She had a record. And I have a copy of that, man. It's awesome.
That's cool, man. Perfect match for a David Lynch
Yeah,
project.
she's from New York. She's a New Yorker.
Mm,
Yeah, so I don't know. I love her music, man.
cool.
Yeah. Um, Cooper states, and there's always music in the air, which goes back to his dream.
Hmm.
So, they find a camera with film in it and blood on the floor, and there's a cuckoo clock that chimes, and it spits out a one-eyed Jack's chip.
Yeah, huge. That's a huge thing. Clue for what's to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We cut over to Josie's silhouette. She's like smoking a cigarette. Then we cut over to the Great Northern, and there's like another event with the Icelanders. It's like this another. They're trying to really going hard with them. Trying to
Mm.
convince them to invest in this real estate venture.
Yeah.
Ghostwood Properties, or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
I would live in a place called Ghostwood Properties. That's cool.
It is, man. Yeah, that is very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. The Martells enter. Um, we see Major Briggs. He's talking to one of the Icelanders and asking if they're interested in ancient folklore.
Because he knows a ton about that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Um, Jerry's creeping around. Leland's there. Catherine Martell is hitting the sauce pretty hard. And
Yeah.
of course she rolls up to Ben. Now she's gonna start, cause a scene here. So she rolls up to Ben and spills a drink on him. Because remember, she found one-eyed Jack's chip in his stuff.
Hmm.
So, there's like, she wants, what the hell's going on here? Audrey is watching the whole thing. And, like what's going on. Like she's observing the whole event. And then we hear Ben ask one of the guys if he's familiar with Newt Hampson, which I thought was really funny because, like, Newt Hampson, FYI, he was a Norwegian writer and supporter of Hitler and the Third Reich.
Oh no shit. I didn't look him up.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's
I
funny.
mean, I read some of his work like when I was in high school.
Okay.
Yeah. He won a Nobel Prize and donated it to Joseph Goebbels, similar
Wow.
to what Venezuelan Maria Corina Machado did to the opposition of Maduro. Like
Oh,
she won like the Nobel Prize. She gave it to another famous dictator.
yeah, no shit. Wow, what a connection.
Yeah, it's so funny, right?
Holy shit, yeah,
Yeah.
man.
So Audrey's hanging out in the walls, right? And there's like, which is really that's kind of interesting that the Great Northern has this secret passageway that connects all these rooms behind the walls.
It is. It's creepy too. You know what it reminds me of? There's a Mortis video from like early 2000s where he's like singing behind a wall and he's like creeping behind the
Mm.
wall and shit. This always reminds me of that Mortis video.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like spying on Catherine and Ben, and she's hearing the whole conversation, about she asks him about the one-eyed Jack's chip that she found, and then he says that Jerry gave it to him, which is bullshit. And then she
Hmm.
slaps him, and then they kiss. And this is where Audrey discovers this that her dad is like, having like that him and Catherine have something,
Hmm.
'cause, she's in high school. She doesn't, that probably still thinks of her dad as like, even though there's like a troubled relationship between the two of them, it still hurts to see that he's cheating on their mother. So yeah,
Yeah.
on her mother rather. Um, so Catherine's like, let's burn the mill tonight, and Ben pulled her back and he's like, let's give Josie one last chance to sell. You know,
Hmm.
he indicates to her that he has retained the services of a qualified professional.
Hmm. And we
Yeah.
know who that is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go back out into the party. Pete Martell is drinking a mug of milk.
Oh yeah, he's always Mr. Oddball. That'd be something I would do too because I don't drink or anything, so I'd be drinking whatever else that ain't alcohol.
Yeah. Probably just a glass of water would be cool.
Yeah, I don't drink milk anymore either. I haven't drank milk in like 20 years, but yeah.
I don't fuck with dairy too much, honestly. Like I
I
like
just do cheese.
a nice cheese here and there is
Yeah.
good, but like I don't play around with milk or anything really.
No, yeah, I kind of just outgrew and I don't have a taste for it anymore.
Yeah, and I always drink my coffee black, so
Yeah, that's the only way to drink coffee.
that's right.
Fucking black. Yes.
Pete Martell is like surprised that all of Iceland is above the timberline.
Oh yeah.
Nice little detail.
Hmm.
Jerry makes an announcement. Leland looks like he's out of his mind. There's big band music playing. Leland, this is where he's dancing.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, Catherine actually ends up dancing with Leland, and Ben indicates to Jerry to get Leland out of the picture because he's like creating a problem here.
Yeah, he's making a scene. He don't want all that.
Yeah, and here we see Aubrey crying because she discovered her dad's cheating. You know,
Hmm.
um, another cut back to the mysterious Josie Packard in the shadows smoking her cigarette, and we cut back to Maddie, and she has a box. This is like the secret box that Laura had.
Hmm.
She calls Donna. Maddie found a tape in Laura's secret hiding place. Of course, that's the bedpost where she used to hide her cigarettes.
Yeah.
So back at the Great Northern, Ben meets up with Josie in the office. Um, and he's like, we can proceed tonight. And he kisses her hand. So another layer of complexity here.
Yeah, there's all these different triangles of deceit going on.
Yeah. So we're back at the Johnson house, and Shelly is alone with the handgun that she has. Leo comes back. He grabs 2 cans of gas, and so he's off to do this deed. He gets beat up by Hank though.
Yeah, Hank beats his shit on him. That was awesome. Like, look at this guy, Mr. Tough Guy Leo. Like Hank just handed it to him.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we'll see
Hank,
what the
like,
dominant man is here.
yeah, man, it was interesting, right?
That's I'm like, well, Hank is kind of running shit for the most part when it comes to doing all the
Yeah,
getting shit done. He's the number one guy for that, not Leo. Leo was
yeah.
kind of like the
So
substitute.
Yeah, we learned that Leo's not the mastermind here. He's like just this like minion of Hank's basically. And
He's
he's
just
like,
a lackey.
yeah. He's like, I told you to mind the store, not open your own franchise. So, and I'm sure like Leo's like mismanaging everything too, because he's a fuck up.
Yeah, he's a fucking jackass.
Yeah. Uh, so, Leo, he comes back into the kitchen and he tells Shelly to get him a beer. He starts pushing her around. And this
He's
is
a real
where,
big man, you know.
yeah. And this is where Shelly pulls a gun. She pulls out her gun and shoots Leo.
Hmm.
Right. We have a nice shot of the waterfall after that, which I actually have observed in real life.
Yeah, he told me about that. That's
Yeah.
fucking awesome. I bet it's nice to see. I mean, really awesome to see in like real life instead of, Twin Peaks. But
Yeah, dude. We were heading out from Seattle to Spokane and like we did a side trip through there on the way out. And
that's really
yeah,
cool.
checked out the double R, the waterfall, like all that stuff.
Yeah, one day I hope to make it out that way. I never toured all the way to the West Coast or anything. I've always stayed maybe a little bit Midwest. East Coast was our thing, but we never made it out there, and I always wanted to.
Yeah, we've been all over, man. It's cool to see all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we transitioned from the waterfall back to to Cooper's hotel room. He opens up the door, which is open, pulls out his gun, wants to make sure who knows who's in there. And then we see that Audrey is in his bed naked.
Yeah. Dun, dun,
And
dun,
she
dun.
and she says, "Don't make me leave." So 18-year-old girl in your bed, 18-year-old naked girl in your bed.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's not it's not good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, man, that was a great episode. It was
It
cool.
was. A lot of things happened in this one that's gonna, a lot of things happen that's gonna turn up in the next episode. Like it's a bunch of starters for things, things to come. But it was a fun episode and I really enjoyed all the donuts in this one, you know.
I think I'm gonna have a donut, man.
Yeah,
After we're
I
done
got
here.
that sounds good. I don't know what I have for sweets, but yeah, great episode. And also, the log lady having like a really big scene in this was cool because she's one of the most interesting characters in the whole thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, she's one of those like a watcher, she's not directly involved in anything, but she's like this, like an oracle character that sort of knows the timeline. She can see everything. It's like very, very cool.
Yeah, definitely like one of the Watchers from what is that, the Marvel universe, the Watchers who watch
Yeah.
over the galaxy. Yeah, she definitely has that feeling. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, really cool episode. And like I said, it's weird that there's only 8 episodes in the first season, but I'm getting things confused with the second season because there's so many episodes. So it's all just kind of rolling into one. But yeah, this has been a great season so far.
I mean, this is my favorite season.
Same here. Same here.
Full disclosure. The second season's cool, but it gets a little, they lose focus a little bit, but it ends strong, I think.
Yeah, it definitely does. And also with the first season, I think the first season's the darker of the two when
Yeah.
it comes, just overall dark feelings. And the first half of season two is still pretty dark because it still kind of feels like a continuation of season one. And then it kind of trails off a bit where it gets a little more soap opera, I guess, a little out there. But then it
Yeah.
comes back and reels itself in.
And I thought season three was great, man. I know that people had different opinions about it, but part of me was just like, well, what do you expect, man? You expect David Lynch to give you what you want, It's like
Yeah.
he's doing what he wants.
Supposedly there's another project that might be released that David Lynch did before he died that I've heard some rumors about. I don't know if it's a movie or a TV series though.
Yeah, yeah, I think you and I like kind of texted each other about that or something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's cool. Yeah. That's the cool thing about social media, all this other stuff that we can find when it comes to movies and comics and other cool stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the only things I use social media for these days. It's not, try to like stay away from the bad stuff out there.
Yeah, I did take your advice and I got the Ground app on my phone now, which I appreciate the heads up on that. I really dig that.
Yeah, what's good about that, it tells you like which side the news is coming from. It's like if you read an article and you think it's, like which bias is producing the article. So it's
Yeah.
like you kind of make up your own mind about what you want to think about it.
and have like the cool that's in between and stuff. Like, I'm like, all right, cool. It's just better to be informed that way instead of like going from what you see on social media all the time, which is usually not real. There's a
Oh,
bias
dude.
to it, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, also the algorithms too, man. It's like it reinforces your own worldview, everything that shows up in your feed, which
Right.
is not good in a way if you want to have an open mind about stuff. If you want to live in like an echo chamber, for sure, that's the way to go. But if you want to actually have new ideas come into your worldview, that's not the way to do it.
No, and I want to see facts. I want to see, give me the real shit. Just give me the news, and that's what I think the ground app's good for. Like it's actually just news. It's not, the biasy and all that stuff because it tells you which is left, right, middle, whatever, and all that stuff. It's just, it seems pretty cool so far, and I'm digging it. But
Yeah, it's a good service, and yeah, I definitely I read from there mostly. That's how I usually get my news.
yeah, I don't want to stay educated on this stuff when I have to deal with jackasses who think otherwise of things, and they tell you, I'm like, what? Like, no, I want to make sure I have my shit right. When I've had to have a rebuttal against what they're saying, I'll make sure my shit's where it needs to be at, not some crap you got from whatever those shitty ass website these people use to get their information.
Yeah, or like some weird
One use or something.
Twitter feed from some bot or something like
Oh
that.
man, yeah, yeah. Twitter's the word. I don't even really fuck with Twitter no more, man.
No
Like I
way,
post
dude.
every once in a while, but it is pure like shit on there. I don't do really much with that anymore. And I used to when it was actually called Twitter. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool. You could reach out to celebrities and stuff like horror people that you can't reach out any other ways. They tweet you back, but it's not like that anymore. A lot of people's left, and it's just like a cesspool of a lot of shit, man.
Well, that's how you would interact on Joe Bob's. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. That
that
was
was
how
like Darcy would curate the Twitter feed, you
And
know.
that was so much fun, man, during COVID. Like that was the best shit ever. Like it was like everybody's, in the same room just watching the same movie, like cracking jokes and all, man. It was awesome. And then after, Twitter became X and all, and everything's changed on there. It's not the same.
Yeah. That's a bummer, man. End of an era, with Joe Bob. I mean, he's got four
Uh
more specials coming out
yeah,
though.
he
Pretty
does four
cool.
more specials. And from what Joe Bob's saying in his interviews, like it wasn't his choice. I think Shutter dropped him because Shutter's owned by AMC and
Right.
AMC's, big business or whatever. So there's hope that he's going to continue to show under a different name on a different network. And I'm hearing possibly Night Flight would be a spot for him, which would be
Oh,
awesome.
that's like a full circle, man.
And that would be amazing. I mean,
Yeah,
that would
dude.
fit in so perfectly. So he's not done. That's for sure. From what he
That
said, he
would
is not
be
done.
that would be so cool if Night Flight had new content. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, because like generally it's all they're like more like an archive of like old stuff.
Hmm.
Night Flight's great, by the way, if
Oh, I
anyone,
love Night Flight. Yeah, I
yeah,
highly recommended.
but it's like more of a archive of like older things. So it'd be really cool if they had a new show that was being, produced with new episodes and things.
It would be awesome if they got Joe Bob over there, him and Darcy, but they also were able to get the rights to like the old Monster Vision stuff and have that on
Yeah,
Night Flight too. Dude, that would be so fucking cool.
totally. The Joe Bob Empire,
Yeah, just all
Monster
Joe
Vision.
Bob. Yeah, I think they could pull it off because Night Flight, they're kind of big. Like, I think they're bigger than Shutter. If you think overall, they have more pull. But
Really?
yeah, I think so overall.
Huh.
But
Okay.
AMC own and Shutter too. AMC's giant, but it's some big corporate stuff. And yeah, I got to say, man, Shutter's not looking so good after if Joe Bob leaves. Like he is leaving, but after the four specials, like there's a lot of people leaving Shutter right now. Like they're like, fuck this. Like this is what we have Shutter for.
I thought about that too, man. Because like I like I like Shudder. I like watching stuff on there. But mainly it was like Joe Bob, which kept me around.
Same here because I gotta say, I love Shutter and everything, but some of those Shutter originals that get hyped up, man, they're not very good. As we talked about one before we recorded this, like there's a new Shutter original up there, and it's really fucking bad. And they got super hyped up, and it's garbage. But
Yeah,
yeah,
dude. It's like things are changing, man. It's like an era. I talked about this before, like I think on the Everything Went Black, maybe in one of the Patreon episodes or something, where it's just like you you think that when you're in this, you don't understand where you're at sometimes when it comes to different chapters of your life, and things around you and everything. It's like you just think everything's going to stay the same, and it's just
hmm
like things come and go, things begin and they end, and it's
yeah.
like certain good things and bad things in your life just come to pass, and it's like this is kind of like what's going on with Joe Bob Lee, his exit from Shudder, it's like this weird trajectory of the whole thing.
Yeah, and I got to say the earlier episodes of Last Drive-In when it first started were the best. Like
Yes.
they kind of drop off a little bit with the movie choices, which I don't think were really up to him. But like when he did like that whole Texas Chainsaw Thanksgiving marathon, that was some of the best shit ever. And then he did like the Phantasm one as well. We did all the Phantasm movies. That
Yeah.
was prime like Joe Bob, but it has dropped off a little bit in terms of like good movies and the shit he can do. Like has been limited. I noticed in the last couple seasons.
Well, then maybe that's a good thing then if he moves over to Night Flight.
Yeah, but that's definitely one of the places they're considering is Night Flight. I got a feeling, was it Screenbox might have a grab at
Oh
this.
shit. Oh,
Yeah,
that's gonna be a game changer, man.
yeah. If Screenbox got Joe Bob, yeah, because Screenbox does have some pretty cool stuff on there. They have some stuff that ain't so cool, but there is some cool stuff. Once they got taken over by Bloody Disgusting, I believe they have their game over there because Screenbox used to be pretty bad back in the day when it first came out. But yeah, he could jump over there. He could also jump to Arrow. There's choices here.
Yeah, the playing field is widened now for sure.
Yeah, it's fucking Joe Bob, man. He's got a hell of a pull. So
Yeah.
I just hope this does happen. He does go somewhere else because life without Joe Bob's gonna suck. And I know
I
it's
know,
coming
dude.
anyways, but
Dude, I
goddamn,
know. I hate it.
yeah,
But he's gonna be back. That's all I know.
yeah, definitely. And I'm still on his waiting list to interview him on the podcast. I'm at about 5 years on the waiting list, so hopefully this year be the year.
That's awesome,
Yeah,
man.
he's on a. I've been on waiting list for him forever. So, but he's a busy man. I understand. Like it's no thing at all, but it's cool. Maybe one day it happens still. I don't know. Awesome, man. Well, this has been a great episode. And yeah, episode 6 was fun. And can't wait to do the next one. And yeah, it's gonna get real juicy here in the next couple episodes.
Yeah, things are definitely stepping up, man.
Definitely, dude. And yeah, you have a great rest of your Sunday, man. And we'll do this again soon.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we'll be in touch about that.
Oh yeah, man. Take it easy.
All right, man. Take care.
Later.
Later.
Let yourself be hurt this time. Don't let yourself be hurt this time. Then I saw your face. When I saw your smile. Let yourself be hurt this time. Let yourself be hurt this time.